We is live. Hi people, I is here today with my main man over here, AY Abramovitz.
Hey. Hello there.
I am so excited because AY is such a special guy. I'm currently in the Yeshiva of Waterbury with him. He's a bundle of fun, joy, happiness, awesomeness. He's just mind-blowing. Awesome. AY, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and the willingness to share with us this crazy story. Are you excited?
Oh, I'm super pumped.
Yeah!
This is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah! I'm excited.
Diggity dang.
All right, let's make this happen today. And please do not shut it off till the end because it's gonna be so good. It's gonna have so many good lessons for you also, practical lessons for every person in our day-to-day lives. I definitely think that you should listen to the full thing. Now, your parents kidnapped you, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. That's right on the dot, actually.
Okay, why would your parents kidnap you?
Well, they had not the idea, it pretty much was matter-of-factly. The next few months, I was going to end up either dead or I was going to end up in jail.
Ouch.
And neither of those are very good options that one would want for their child.
Okay, now, why would you have ended up dead? What was going on in your life that they made that decision that you needed to be kidnapped?
Well, I was in a very, very tough, deep spot in my life. I was digging out a big tunnel. I was using some heavy drugs.
Mm-hmm. When you say heavy drugs, are we talking about marijuana? Like that type of heavy drug?
We're talking more like
No.
cocaine, ketamine, psychedelics.
Okay.
It was tough stuff.
Okay, light use, heavy use?
Heavy use.
Let's go deep.
Would not let myself be sober at any point of the day, even before I'd go to sleep, because I did not want to face reality. I didn't want to face myself.
Were you hanging out with the wrong crowd? Did you get involved with the wrong crowd?
Environment was terrible. It just edged me on more. It made me want to do the worst of the worst. Made me want to be the biggest, the baddest. Was not good.
Well, were you on the streets?
I was on the streets. My home consisted of food and a place to sleep. That would be the only reasons I would come home. Otherwise, I was out with friends, drinking or smoking or using drugs. Yeah.
Any nights you slept on the street?
Yes. Many nights. Would go to Brooklyn, nowhere to stay, no food. You'd have to shoplift to get yourself any food to eat. You'd sleep on the park benches. Cops would come around and kick you out. It was rough. Very rough.
Wow, you had the real experience over there.
Yeah.
That's intense. Wow. Okay, so you were in this crazy, dark, deep void. No real relationships, probably.
None at all.
Okay, because relationship, guys, you should always know this. For these relationships are like number one. It's key. Key. When there's no relationships, all this stuff happens. Now, why there's no relationship could be a million different factors of reasons, but you need to figure that out because relationships is everything. If you have friends, real family and stuff, usually you don't get these type of problems or they bail you out easy. When you're void of true relationships, terrible stuff a lot of times happens. Okay, so this is good.
Very, very true. Very true stuff. It's got on the dot.
Okay.
I'm just glad I've actually learned a lot from Akif Balsam. He is a very, very smart guy, very worked on. He's showed me what relationships are, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So cool. So basically you were in this void, no relationships, just empty, no point to life. And you were like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to give me that high, to at least give me something, right? And that answer was
drugs.
Okay. Okay. And your parents made the decision that they had to kidnap you. Well, no, who was kidnapping you exactly?
Hired men who their job is to take teenagers who do not want to be taken from their house and transport them to a rehab of whatever such that the parents chose.
Okay, so you're being kidnapped for a type of rehab. Was this a normal type of rehab?
This was not any normal type of rehab. No, sir. This was a wilderness rehab.
Okay, so we're gonna. They basically dropped him in the middle of Utah, in the middle of nowhere. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to go, no electricity, nothing. There's zero. And how long was that experience for?
This experience was a full 3 months.
3 months, okay? So it was super, super intense. Anyway,
Yes.
what was that night like when you were in your room and these two people grabbed you and said, "You're coming with us"? Can you relive that night?
Yeah, I can relive that night. It was a very traumatizing night, actually. Imagine waking up to one of your scariest, most feared nightmares possible. Except it's not a dream; it's real. You're going to rehab. What in my mind I viewed as the worst possible outcome that could ever happen. And two big burly guys come up and hey buddy, hey we gotta go. It's not gonna be that bad. Just just going off for a few months to live with nothing you're comfortable with.
They told you where you're going?
Oh yeah.
You asked them questions?
they actually I didn't ask any questions. I was upset. I was fuming actually. Yeah, it was rough. It's very traumatizing.
Okay. Did you try to escape them, or you knew there was no point?
I did not. I was actually overwhelmed as well. I knew they explained to me.
How big were these guys?
These guys.
What are we dealing with?
One of them
6'2"
was 6'2" with dreadlocks. Wide guy. I think their job was to work out and just get big enough to take on any teenager that comes their way.
And is this legal? Like the government?
This is legal. Your parents sign over jurisdiction to the company that they work for, and they're like your new parents. They could take you wherever, do whatever.
That must be really crazy psychologically, messing with your brain. Like, my parents kidnapped me, had me kidnapped.
That's about it, yeah.
Did they physically force you? Like, did they physically pull you out of there?
They did physically.
And they're
force
allowed to
me.
use physical force?
They're allowed to use physical force.
So if you try to run away, what's happening to you?
They can tackle me. They can tackle me and handcuff me.
They're trained?
Yeah, very trained. Highly trained. That's their whole job is to be able to transport a kid from one place to the other. If he has a weapon, know how to dismantle it or to disarm him. If whatever it is, a gun, a knife, they're trained. They're real.
Wow, so there's no getting away. There's no getting away. So and you knew that. You just submitted. You knew that there's no getting away. You saw it. They're too big. You saw they're trained. That is pretty crazy. That must have messed with your brain bad. You must have needed therapy from the therapy.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense. And that your own parents did that to you also is pretty intense. But obviously, in the greater picture of things, that was for your own good. So, wow. So what was that first day like? They took you on a plane. You were told if you try to escape, what happens?
There would be a 40-hour drive down to Utah.
So there's no...
no escaping. And I would be in one seat for 40 hours. The only time I could go out is to pee, and that would be escorted by the hand by someone else and his foot in the door while I go excrete.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they take you and they put you in a pickup truck or something, and they start driving off road.
It was a black SUV.
Okay.
And
that's good enough.
Yeah.
Shady enough.
So they drove me up a mountain. Actually.
Did you have any idea where you're going? Was this a normal road? Was it a regular street, or was this a dirt road?
No idea. This was a dirt road.
You have no clue where you are. Clueless. No signs. Nothing.
Not at all. We were driving for a nice, I'd say 45 minutes to an hour just on a dirt road. It was a Friday, actually. And I remember when we got there, they said, all right, this is it. They gave me a pack and put it on, helped me strap it on. I fell over because the pack was so heavy. They had to help me stand up and show me how to put the straps on, the waist, and
how many
shoulders.
pounds? Do you know how many pounds that was? Because I'm a backpacker. I know.
A fully loaded pack was 50 to 60 pounds.
That is very, very intense. When I go backpacking, I'm usually 30 pounds, maybe 35. The most, maybe 40. I don't think I ever put 50, 55 pounds in my head. That's very, very intense.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is. It's insane.
All right, so they put the backpack on your back. Then what happens?
Well, then we actually skipped one step. Before we went off on the trail, they stripped me down of all my clothes, went behind closed doors where you're able to see my feet and you're able to see my head. It was more of like a rodeo style, like Texas bar type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave me a new pair of underwear, gave me new pairs of pants and shirt, and handed me that pack. That was it.
And that's it?
how.
Nothing.
Nothing
Nothing.
on my own.
No. What about your MP3 player or phone?
No. I had a necklace at the time, bracelets like these, all gone.
And what was that feeling like?
I felt betrayed.
Uh-huh.
I felt betrayed, abandoned. Yeah, it was tough.
Uh-huh.
It was scary. It was very scary.
Mm-hmm.
It was scary, overwhelming. I felt defeated.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like, all right, this is it. Can't do anything now. I'm stuck.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my life is out of my hands. I can't do anything about it, and they're gonna want me to go with the program. Oh no, I want to be the big man, but couldn't do nothing.
Wow, that's
terrible.
crazy. Now, what type of situation were we dealing with? Was there like houses for you to stay in, or?
Funny, that's a funny one. There's no houses on your backpack that you're given. You have a tarp. Now there's about 6 to 10 guys all together in a group.
Mm-hmm.
And so teamwork is all about, there's a lot of therapy, team building,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of working together, creating relationships, bonds.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this thing called pea string as well. It's basically just this thin rope that you
Mm-hmm.
had to string between the different tarps and create a lean-to or some sort of shelter.
Right.
That was your shelter for the night.
Okay. What's your night like when you first come in as a newbie? As a newbie, they assume that you're going to be rebellious, right?
Oh yeah.
And so you're guarded every second of the day, basically, right? There's no escaping.
Yeah.
There's nowhere really to run from what I got from you. I mean, where are you exactly going? Like,
You don't even know where you are.
You're
in wilderness. There's mountains surrounding you on all sides for miles and miles. As I told you, 45 minutes to an hour drive just on the dirt road. That's after the highway, after passing civilization, going for miles before that.
So there's nowhere to go. You're stuck. They're watching you. Do you want to describe that, what you told me, exactly what it was like to go to sleep when you were a newbie?
Yeah, they'd take your shoes and tie them all together, so in a tarp that crinkles very loudly if someone would try to take it, and then whole process of getting it out, not gonna happen. And so for a newbie, there's this thing called tarping. Tarping is where there's a tarp laid out, you lay on top of it, it goes over you and back on the other side, and a guide or counselor lays on top of that. So you're basically cocooned in, you're stuck, you're trapped. It's very uncomfortable. You can breathe, but it's uncomfortable. It's shoulder space. You can't turn over from one shoulder to the other. That's how tightly wrapped you are.
So if you're escaping, they're hearing it and they're tackling
you. Yeah.
That's
Everyone's gonna wake up.
That's really intense. I do a lot of camping, but not with a tarp on top of my head. What was the normal temperature that you're dealing with in this Utah place on the rock?
So
we're dealing with like 70s, 60s.
Another funny one there, Akiva. I got there during the winter,
Mm-hmm.
or right when I got there at the first snowstorm of the season. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
my first day on, it was below freezing if it's gonna snow.
Okay.
The average weather was about 40 degrees in the day on a good day, and this was my first month, let's say, being there.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the second and third month, the average would be 35, if not freezing, all times. And we'd wake up sometimes.
And that was in the day?
That was in the day.
Oh, so at night.
At night, it would get in
20s? Teens?
In the single digits sometimes. It would. I've woken up actually we'd have to go out, reset our shelter because so much snow piled on top of it, and I'd wake up with snow frosted on my hair because the weather is so cold.
Were you freezing? Were you cold, or you had like jackets and stuff like that?
They gave us negative 20-degree sleeping bags. Imagine that, negative 20, and kids would still shiver. That's how cold it was. It was mandatory to warm up before you got in bed. You had to wear all your layers.
You used the word bed.
That's a good point. Let me rephrase that. Well, for what I would consider a bed and what I learned to get comfortable with was a 1-inch foam pad about this thick, along with a negative 20-degree sleeping bag. And that was it. I would take my coat sometimes, if it wasn't too cold, wrap it up and put it by my head as a pillow. If not, I'd put my clothing bag that went along in the big backpack that we had and use that as a pillow sometimes. But that was considered comfortable.
Holy cow. What was the food situation like? Are we dealing with like catered meals over here? Like, did they send in pans of food and stuff like that? What are we dealing with, huh?
So once a week, we get to restock on six fruits, 9 vegetables, and 1 bag of dehydrated beans, a bag of dehydrated rice, some couscous, some rice noodles, some pasta.
Everything was dehydrated?
Everything was dehydrated because it had to last the whole week.
Wow. Was the fruit dehydrated and the vegetables dehydrated?
So the fruit was the only thing that was not, and vegetables, they only gave specific vegetables that could last all week. Or actually, including the fruit, everything that they gave, it had to last the whole week. And you had to ration out what you would eat and choose wisely what you ate first so as to lighten your load. Because if you were carrying around potatoes all week, it was going to be a tough workout.
Right. Was the food kosher?
The food was not kosher. It was the sakonas lefashos. And at the time, I was not from, as I say. I had no sense of religion, and if I thought about it now, that is just, it was a different time and place, but the food was not kosher. It was just protein and anything you needed, carbs.
Wow. So that's definitely a good point that when it reaches a certain point, that some of these things, it has to do with what's the best care for somebody in such a situation. I mean, obviously, if they offered a kosher food program, awesome, but that's not the main focus. Is actually what is the best care for these specific situations. Just so you should know. Okay, so you're hardly eating anything good. So did you have any soda, candy?
Oh boy, no. Oh no.
Are you serious?
Yeah, seriously. There was candy, soda. That was unheard of. That was heaven to us. That was like let me tell you a funny story actually. One kid got a spider bite, so they took him to the hospital. Looked serious. He got a few gummy bears. He snuck them out, took some back. He gave about 1.5, maybe 2 to each kid. That was out of this world. Just to show you how crazy candy was, he took a rock, hit himself on the leg to make it look like the spider bite got worse, just to go back and get some more candy. He inflicted pain on himself so great that it would inflame the leg to go to the hospital again.
That's crazy.
For candy.
Wow, that is crazy. So you got that one gummy bear, he snuck it in. Did any of the people find out, the counselors or whatever?
No one found out. We were good at what we did. There was...
Sneaky.
You gotta learn, you know?
Yeah, now you gotta go back and tell him, hey, you should just know. Remember that night? We snuck behind the bed. You thought you guys were so strong and you got us? We got you.
It was nice. It tasted good, let me tell you.
Yeah. Okay. So that's really cool. I'm glad that you got the experience of sneaking that in, and that it must have been like crazy that rush. What was that rush like? Like sugar.
It was just like the rush of going on a roller coaster and just like eating some food. It was spectacular.
Wow.
It's crazy.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you chew on your gummy bear or did you suck it?
I savored every moment I had. One little gummy bear, we pop a handful in our mouth. One gummy bear.
Did you cut it in different portions for the week?
No, I did not do that, but that's pretty much what it was. It was that special.
Wow, thanks for sharing that. That's crazy, man. No soda.
No soda.
No soda. Okay.
Water.
Cool. Okay, so basically you're stuck. You have these backpacks full of equipment. Oh, pots and pans. Did you cook?
So the way we cooked, we had 120 minutes for mealtime throughout every day. You had to cook 2 meals a day. Mm-hmm. We had a pot and a stovetop with some propane. Mm-hmm. The guides had a flint and stone, little sparker, we called it.
Okay. Could
And
they just give you matches?
oh yeah, no, just let these kids who don't want to be there and want to run away, create chaos. Get some match. There was no matches. And
they made the fire. Were there? So you're saying the kids wanted to run away? Are these kids normal kids, or are they being rebellious while they're there? What was the situation like? Can you tell us any stories? Was there anybody that was not cooperating with the program, and they,
So we were in a group called B1. It was B1 was it was boys 1 for drugs and defiance.
Okay.
And so the kids that were in this group were the toughies, the ones who had to prove to themselves that they were the biggest, baddest, do the worst of everything. And it didn't amount to much. But there was actually one time this kid, he decided he was having a bad week, and we were on a hike. It was a day hiking itinerary. And if you don't know an itinerary, 1 week backpacking, 1 week day hiking, stuff like that. So this kid, we went day hiking, and we were joking around, having fun. We thought it'd be fun to, have a little snowball fight. He got very angry. He stormed off.
The kid?
Yeah, the kid stormed off.
Somebody hit him.
Someone hit him. He stormed off.
Okay.
And guy was like, okay, have fun. His name was Eric. Eric, come back. And oh no. The lead up to this, he ended up running off for about 8 miles, and we had to walk after them the whole day for hours, from the morning till it was dark, past 11, 12. It was terrible. And but no one gets away. That's not a thing. Where are you going to go? You're just going to walk for another 100-something miles? There's no civilization around.
Okay, so, and this is something that he's told me in the past, that the way the system works is that they're putting you into a new reality. You're forced to live in a real world. They're creating for you a new world. So you forget everything that ever was. You literally forget everything that ever was. And your biggest focus could be to earn yourself an extra can of vegetables at night or something like that, or a treat or something. They create this whole reality for you, and everything you do has consequences. That's what they try to teach you with this whole program. There's no misbehaving. Every misbehavior, I think, from what I've been told, has a consequence to it. And the whole group suffers, and everybody's going to be very, very upset at you, like that person, right? If that person, he ran away, right? So
the whole group suffered.
So the whole group had to chase after him for, what was it?
Say 9 hours.
For 9 hours, they
maybe more.
Right. So for 9 hours, they had to hike after where this kid was trying to run away to. There's a consequence to everything. So after a certain, you could either fight it, but after a while you see that also has consequences, and you're just being sad, and then they show you that, or you can embrace it and start living real. And what they have is these teachers, right, therapists, that get straight with you. What are you doing with your life? What's life about? What do you want to create? What type of reality do you want to make real in your life? Am I portraying this picture correctly?
Very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is. So throughout the day, they're having different sessions, right? But there's also integrated with long hikes, backpacking, and different chores that you had to do. What was the bathroom situation like? Gosh. I'm sorry I had to go here, but you have to hear this. This is insane.
Right, so
we're gonna have to go here.
Let's say on a backpacking trip where you're constantly moving, you have your big packs on you all week.
55 pounds.
So where'd you go to the bathroom? Yeah, let's just go to some outhouse or toilet. Yeah. No. So we carry these tubes, 2 tubes. If it's a big enough group, 3. You had doggy bags, actually. That's what they got. It worked. You have a roll of toilet paper, if it's a big enough group, 2, and and 1 thing of baby wipes. You can have the choice of either 8 squares. Now, you take there's toilet roll. You roll it down, swipe. You know.
Yeah.
That's about like 12 papers right there.
Mm-hmm.
No, you have 8 all together, and 1 baby wipe, or 2 baby wipes, and 4 squares. A square, you know, 1 little square.
It's disgusting.
When you have to rip for Shabbos. Yeah.
And what if it's not enough?
So if it's not enough, I found out this trick about smooth rocks.
Okay.
If you like to know.
Are they really serious about it? Can you just say, yo, dude, like I need a little bit more. Like, can you please give me 2 extra pieces?
It's not a thing. Everything you do affects the group.
So
why should one kid? Oh yeah, because I wasn't careful about how I wiped. Now I'm gonna take away 5, 6 more squares from the whole group. That's gonna affect the whole week. No, you'll have to find some natural resources.
Do your friends actually get upset at you? Like they'll be like,
yeah.
"You stupid, you chick! Now I have one less thing."
Yeah,
there's actually conversations going on about that. Were there fights about like a square of toilet paper ever, or
there are people very machbid about very strict about it. Yes, because there were certain kids who've been there longer and they've seen what happens when kids just take as much as they want.
Right.
You end up with
that's terrible.
You don't have toilet paper to wipe with.
Are you nuts? You took an extra square.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah. What are you selfish? Wow, that is unbelievable. That is crazy and scary at the same time. So now you went to the bathroom. You went in this bag, tube thing, whatever, and then you just left it there. You buried it.
So some kids would try to. You try to bury it. The counselor/guide would come around after to the spot you went to the bathroom in, and they'd check whether or not you picked it up. You had to take a bag.
What's wrong with just leaving it there?
Pick up your feces. Yeah, you have to pick up your feces.
Bad for the environment or something.
And it's
we don't know.
Whatever the reasons, you have to pick it up, and you had to put it in a tube that I mentioned earlier, and you carry it around with you all week. All week.
That is disgusting. Oh boy, it doesn't sound very sanitary.
Let me tell you, we had this not infection, more like a virus that went around that we would call the double-headed dragon, where you'd end up having diarrhea and throwing up for about half a week, let's say, and if not more, where it comes from not washing your hands properly, and from when you go to the bathroom, if it's still on your hands and it touches your food.
Boy. Did you have soap?
And so were
you able to wash your hands with soap?
You did, but you had to use your own water that you carried around. So if you used up the water, you had to go fill it up from the stream and purify it with bleach and a very small amount.
Oh, gosh.
So people would just skip it out. Whatever. Yeah, wash my hands. And no.
Wow. Wow.
Very, very
so you're walking around with your backpack full of gespinkers. So like, what was the shower situation? Like, you taking a shower once every 2 days, or what's the story?
We showered once a week. We had a 7-minute shower.
Are you serious right now?
Once a week. Yeah.
You're telling me that for 7 days you're not allowed to shower?
No showering.
Can I just take some?
We reeked high
Can you just give me like a bottle? Just.
There's
disgusting.
Nothing.
That's disgusting. So you're with a bunch of people that shower once a week?
Yes, sir.
Is that pretty intense? Or you got used to it?
Got used to it. But the guys would do it as well.
It's crazy what you get used to on these things. It's mamish, like, I cannot imagine.
Your reality changes.
Yeah, it's a different world. It's like, when you go to certain third world countries, and I've had this, you're going on a bus in different countries that have different, realities than us. And the guy like lifts up his hand and you're like, whoa!
Yeah.
But it's a different world. Like, it's what's accepted. So like, once it becomes accepted, so then, So that is very, very intense. So here's a question. This is really intense, the program, and I'm sure guys went nuts every once in a while. Anybody ever try to escape?
Yes. Kids tried to escape. There was that one case where that kid just went off on a run. He got put on 101, it was called, where you are next to a guide at all times. But another time a kid tried to... Oh, famous story. Famous story.
Yeah.
About this
Everybody
girl.
knows that.
Yeah, sure. This girl was like, oh, I have a genius idea. Let me throw myself off a cliff and I'll hurt myself bad enough that my parents will feel bad and take me out of here.
Uh-huh.
So
she wanted to escape by injuring herself.
Yeah.
And getting it, and then they would ship her out, and then she'd escape or whatever.
La-di-da, be on her merry way.
Uh-huh.
So
she jumped off a cliff?
She jumped off a cliff.
Okay, what happened to her?
The result was she broke her pelvis bone. That's your hip. That's right around here. Now imagine you can't move. You're stuck. What are you going to do? Now she can't walk. She can't hike.
Right.
So, she's going to go home. No. She went to the hospital. She came back about that week, I'm pretty sure it was.
Right.
And the group had to carry her around on a stretcher.
Wow.
The whole week.
Wow. I'm hearing where this is at. This is like what we said before, that they're teaching you there's no such thing as escape. Everything you do, no matter what, will have consequences. Let's say even somebody committed suicide. And in theory, people think I will escape with suicide. Suicide also has consequences. There's nothing that we can ever do that won't have consequences to it. So we just have to make the best decision. They're teaching you that reality. She's also stuck with a bunch of people that probably hated her for the rest of the trip.
Yes.
Right. That's insane. What was the music situation? Can you listen to some music, TV, movies, anything? What entertainment of any sort?
There is absolutely no electronics, no technology. There's a radio that the guys have, but we don't listen to any music. We don't.
Is there reception there?
There's no reception. You're so far out from civilization that there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing.
So, okay, so let me ask you this. What was it like that first time you heard music?
So I remember listening to classical music. In my 3 months, I had a really nice guide, counselor, who, so we had a lot of autonomy. Autonomy is where a group works together. So she was like, I think they could reward, have some nice music. I'm not going to let you choose the music. You don't get to choose music. Yeah, so she had it on her playlist. I remember we listened to some classical music. And
what was that like?
It was great. It was so entertaining.
What's this gear check like? What do you do? They're like, gear check, and everybody has to go roll call.
So there's gear check. You have to take your whole backpack. You have to basically strip it inside out. You have to lay out your tarp, and you put all your belongings on top of it, and they go through. It's a long process, and they go through each thing one by one, including yourself. They pat you down.
Okay.
Now, I had a cast back then, so I was able to keep things in the cast. Side point.
What did you keep there?
I found a picture, a Star Wars picture. And we went on a hike, and
you were so desperate. You were like,
it was cool. It was really cool. It was
like every night you probably pulled it out and you were like,
it was the flashiest thing I'd seen in months. So
it's crazy.
That is stick it in there.
That's absolutely crazy. I can't even imagine how desperate you are that you're going nuts over something flashy like a Star Wars picture. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I totally respect this. This is something I have a lot of respect for because I'm so into this style stuff of minimalist and camping and all that. I love it. It teaches you how to focus on what's MS, and it shows you how to appreciate the small things and
your needs and your wants.
So unbelievable. All right, next question. What were these letters all about?
So these letters, it came in stages. Well, to start, you were supposedly meant to send out letters, which you didn't have to, but when they say you didn't have to, okay, don't send letters. We'll just keep you here for another few months until you start getting with the program.
Yeah, and these people have all the time in the world, you have to realize.
Yeah.
They're just they live there.
Many of them...
You don't need to. We got time.
Twiddling their thumbs. A lot of them are actually past members of the rehab. Yeah. They were there as students, if you like to call them, and they want to return the favor, and they know what it was like. There are it starts with you can send letters to your family, to your parents, they try to push.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes on to an impact letter. Impact
Right.
letter and a life story.
Right.
Which the impact letter is a letter from your parents telling you why they sent you there, and it's very impactful. It is
Yeah.
very, very impactful.
It's very real. I've heard about this from another boy also that went to a similar program. He told me that in the beginning, your letters are kind of like putting blame. They censor the letters, no?
So they don't censor it. They
read it.
read it over. Yeah, they read it over.
What are they scared about? Or you're gonna like send your longitude. You're gonna like
Hey
hint
mom,
with
meet
Morse
me here
code.
and there, and
Longitude 45 and
Send me
drop
some.
off 3 gummy.
yeah, that's
You're gonna
pretty
like sneak in a shipment of gummy bears, perhaps.
pretty much what it is.
That's hilarious. So they read it. Make sure you don't.
Yeah,
hint-
they would censor it, or
A banana.
not censor. They would just totally cut it out if it was to inappropriate or to a friend who they don't think they should is necessary that you should talk to.
I love this word that you used, impact. They call it impact letters.
Yeah.
The whole program, what I'm getting at, is that everything you do has an impact, and that's exactly what a reality that they're trying to paint is that who you are, yourself. What I think, and you tell me if you agree with this.
Okay.
What I've gotten from hearing all the information about this program is they're teaching you who you are. You told me this with your own words, I believe. I asked you, what did you gain from this whole program? And what was your answer?
I found out who I was, who Avram Yaakov really is.
I think the whole reality that they're trying to paint with this program was that you are someone else. You are your impact. You are the impact that you make on the world. You can live yourself to a certain degree, but after a while you learn that without other people in your life and that you care about, and that without you realizing the repercussions of your actions and the consequences of your actions, you're nothing. You'll get bored of that. That is nothing. That's not why you're here, right? So you're here to expand, to become bigger, right? And to have impact on other people. When you're going through the teenager tough times and stuff, it's all about me. It's all about me. And after a while, you get so dark and stuck in that hole, right? Chas v'shalom. So then you might need a program like this. But when you come into this program, they teach you that reality is your impact. That's your reality. It's your repercussions. Everything you do for the good and for the bad. And what they did, which is so crazy, what I'm getting from this, is that they created a reality where everybody is in this reality of impact. Meaning when you're at home, right, and your mom says, you know what you did just hurt me. You're like, I don't care. You
Whatever.
go, right. You're like, whatever, who cares? Oh, so sorry, sarcasm. You go to your friend's house that night, you tell him what happened, and you're able to mirror off him your feeling, and he'll mirror it off you, and he'll be like, yeah, sorry. Yeah, who really cares about what your mom's sister was? She's like so emotional. Like, she cares. Right?
What the heck?
So he's living in a fake reality, right?
Yeah.
You're able to find that in the world. What they did is they trapped you for 3 months in a place where you just have to live real. And this is the funny part that I'm getting is that it's not just like if you mess up and you and you do something that's mean or that you weren't thinking of your repercussions or impact. It's not the teachers that you have to worry about. It's not the therapists that you have to worry about. It's your friends. Your friends are gonna be like, what the heck? Like
Environment is key.
Yeah, like for example, like this is what's so cool. Like you were telling me, it's like cool to cry. It became a cool thing there to cry.
Oh yeah.
And when you finally did cry for the first time, right? His friends were like, "Oh my gosh, like that was sick. Like you did so good," and they were there for him. That was the reality. His friends paint. So there's a reality where it's cool to be vulnerable.
I remember my friends. One of my friends complimented me about, "Hey man, it's so cool that you're able to cry so early on. I remember I couldn't cry until like a month and a half in. Like, wow, you're
so
already
good.
being so vulnerable.
That's exactly-
Dang, man. You're really cool. Like,
That's perfect.
You're gonna be out of here in no time.
Right.
You're getting with the program.
You were living
a whole
in
other world.
You were living in a world where it was cool to be real. And there was nothing else. There's no other friend for him to go and reflect otherwise. He couldn't go somewhere else or see it on his phone or in a movie or something. His brain was totally focused. It was a focus on just being me and what me really wants to connect and to become better and bigger and help out another and impact and what the repercussions and consequences of my actions are. And all your friends represented it exactly that. When you messed up, it wasn't like I got to be afraid of my therapist, right? It was that my friends are going to be like, "What are you doing?" If you're like, okay, it's time to be vulnerable. Imagine you're in this like, gentlemen, we're all going to be vulnerable, and you start kind of vulnerable for wussies.
Bro, are you okay?
He'll be like, huh?
What's happening?
Like, what are you saying? You guys done it great? I'm like, no, dude.
Dang.
It's mad cool to be vulnerable. It's like, it is? You're like, yeah, don't you know? That's the world we live in. Oh, okay. Got you. Sorry about saying that, guys. Just, I'd be sick. We should start a Jewish community, like in the Rock in Utah, where new reality. That would be crazy. If everybody was just like, yeah. If everybody was just down to just live real, and we all just created a whole new world. That would be sick. But obviously, there's a reason why Hashem put us here. Well, all right, but it's still super cool. Okay, so with these letters, sorry for going off tangent. With these letters, so the point was to realize the impact. They're called impact letters, for you to realize the impact of your actions. Okay, what was it like when your mother sent you a letter, and you read that letter of the impact that you had on her? Ooh.
So when I read her letter, her impact letter. And you had to read it actually. First you read it with a therapist, and then you read it with the group. So I cried twice actually. And this was a new thing for me. Crying. What the heck? I thought I was such a wimp. I thought I was such a scaredy cat. Like, what? Why are you letting your feelings out?
You never cried. You never cried before that?
This was, I'd say, my first, if not second time ever crying in my lifetime.
Wow.
16 years of living at the time. Yeah. It's crazy stuff. And so after I read it with the therapist, I read it with my group. I bawled. Like I couldn't finish my letter. And people took it so well. They were so accepting. They were like, dang, man, nice. I feel you.
That's
I remember
so cool.
my letter. Yeah, I felt horrible. So real, right? Like, we don't realize how much we hurt our parents. Like, they really care about us. Like, they love you. You should tell them you love them. It's like, what the heck is happening?
A whole new world.
My whole life has been turned upside down.
Wow.
It was a start. It was a start of something.
That is crazy. Do you tell me if I'm wrong? But I'll tell you what I think.
Go for it.
For the first time in your life, like I was saying a million times, you realized that people care about me. I have impact on other people, but they have impact on me. We're all attached. We're all one. So, and guys, you should know this. Anybody going, and I'll call him out. I'll ask him in a second if this is true. Anybody in the streets that is deep in a void, or that's a deep and bad situation or whatever it is, you should know that the feelings that go through their minds all day, basically, whenever somebody says something or tells them anything, even if somebody says I love you or whatever it is, what's going in their mind is you could care less. Nobody cares about me. Am I saying what's true?
You are on the bullseye.
Okay. It's almost, and I know this because I've dealt with a lot of situations, Baruch Hashem, with kids, and the way it works is that the person has zero recognition of what a real connection is, and that somebody really cares about me. Anything like a parent could say, no, I care about you. They're like, yeah, Nobody could care about me. Everybody could care less. That's the feeling. Now, of course, it's not necessarily like people care about it, but his reality, his world that he lives in, is that doesn't make a difference. Nothing makes a difference. It's all good. Don't worry about a thing. And people say stuff. They're insincere. Rebbe says, "Oh, I really want you to go." Yeah, you could care less. And if they say it, they actually say these words in the brain, like, "You don't care. You don't know. You don't care.
Very true.
You're insincere."
Very, very true.
And there's in all connections cut off. There's no connection. They don't feel connection. They don't know who they are, because the real who they are is someone else. That's who you are in this world. You're part of a bigger whole, right? But since they're not in touch with that, right? So they have no clue who they are, that they are an extension of other people.
That's why
being attached to other people. So they're stuck alone. And anytime somebody starts to approach them with like, "Oh, I care about you," they don't get that concept. So they're totally detached from who they are. And it's like and nobody cares. Like, there's not a care in the world. And if I passed away, nobody would even know the difference.
Chas v'shalom, if someone were to commit suicide, that's why they think like, why would they not, like, someone else would think like, "Yo, you're affecting so many other people committing suicide." In his mind, it's like, what do you mean?
Right.
There's not one person who actually would care if I Chas v'shalom pass away.
Right.
It's a crazy thought.
Right. It's just people, they don't realize the impact. In this program, what's so crazy is that they taught you how everything you do impacts, and you're all attached. Yeah. This world's one big, like, it's a dance. When you do something, you push the whole group back and forth for the good or for the bad. And then these kids, which is so amazing, is that everybody starts popping and they start getting it. Whoa, that, and they start getting, and then they start living real, and then it reflects on you. You're like, whoa, they find it cool to cry. Damn. Crying, what I was saying.
Do this more.
Yeah, what I was saying, when you cry, what crying is empathy, right? When you cry, it shows that I actually care about that thing, and that people actually care about me enough for me to cry, to try to communicate to them, that I want to get something done. That kid that's stuck on the streets and never cries, why does it make a difference? Nobody cares anyways, right? There's no empathy. There's no concept of empathy. Nobody really cares about me. I don't really care about anybody. There's no self. The self is that I'm part of other. It's gone. It's detached. So there's no tears in such a situation. What's the point? What is it going to do? Even if I cry, like, who's going to care? So what's the point of me crying? It'll be fake anyways, right? Like, what am I going to accomplish with this? And they'll come to me like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you're crying." You don't really care. That's insincere. Nah, I could tell you're doing it because you have to be a nice parent, or you're doing. That's the thought. But when they start creating this reality where everything's like, "No, dude, we care. And everything you do, has a big effect on us. You matter, bro," right? And everything we do has the big effect on you, right? And we're in this together, and there are no distractions. We're just focused on this situation to get life done, to get out of this, and to get in touch with this reality that we are about other people. Pop. Big stuff start happening, and people aren't scared to cry. And it helps to cry. Why does it help to cry? Why is crying so important when you need to cry? Why is it so important? Because it's energy. Energy gets stuff done, gets big changes done. It's a release. You let out stuff, but it's a certain energy. All emotions are energy, and they get you to do stuff. Sometimes they get us to do something, or sometimes they get us to do not. They get us to not do something, which is also doing something. So emotions are super, super powerful. Sometimes they get us to stop from doing something, hopefully bad. Sometimes they get us to do something, but it's an energy. And if you're not in touch with your emotions, you're not a full human being. You're not going to have the full range of energy that a human being has. And a lot of times you won't have the energy to get the proper things done. You could be missing a lot.
Okie dokie.
We're getting near to the end. The question is, what was that first shower like? when you came home.
That first shower, that's like, what's your favorite food or your most enjoyable roller coaster, or going to the sauna or going to the hot tub and eat, like the best things you could ever imagine.
I have a question. How long was that shower for?
My shower, it must have been 45 minutes.
Okay.
No exaggerations.
It was like the next day.
I just chilled in there, like, I just, you know.
Mother's like knocking on the door. Honey, are you okay in there?
It was amazing. It was out of this world.
Wow.
It was like experiencing something as a newborn.
Months.
It was, imagine trying watermelon for the first time in your life.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Next question.
It
next
was
question.
great.
So you come home and you open up this thing called a fridge, or the cabinets, like, and there are gummy bears. What was that like?
It felt
Did your
like
heart like skip a beat, and you're like,
I viewed it so differently.
I'm rich.
It felt like unlimited amounts of food. It went from, I have to ration, I have this and this. Now what should I eat first so I don't have to carry around a certain amount of weight every week and this and that.
All of a sudden,
to like, whoa, I can make anything. I have so many flavors. I have spices.
Yellow gummy bears and blue gummy bears and more than one.
I have sugar. I can. Okay.
So you open the door to your bedroom, bro.
Dang. So,
hold on. Open it up. Okay. What was your reaction when you saw that soft, clean, fluffy bed?
My reaction? Well, thinking about it.
Did your brain almost explode?
I had a sensory overload.
I know like a drop of that feeling, like when you go on a big trip or something or camping and then you come to a hotel for the first time. First time, you come to a hotel after being in the Shiva for a while.
Like,
oh my. So what was it like?
So, well, remember I was sleeping on a pad, a foam pad.
Right.
About
1 inch.
an inch thick.
1 inch.
Inch and a half. And a sleeping bag where you can't move around. Like, you move around and, like, your whole sleeping bag's moving with you and you roll into the person next to you. So, I jumped full spread.
Oh, you...
Bam. right onto my bed.
Oh, man. No, but I was expecting a different reaction. Okay,
what were you expecting?
No, here's the thing. Okay, so my brain, there's two different options I would have for this situation, and I was hoping you'd I like the first one, okay, but it's okay. He picked number 2. But number 1, I think would be where it's like dead quiet, and his mother's behind him or something. They both walk up. It's like, honey, I want to show you something. Like, what is it? Like a tear in his eye. It's like, come here. She opens up the door. It's like, and he sees walks over to it, and he starts stroking. It's just like, it's not real. It can't be. That would have been. Ah, man. But he picked number 2. Number 2 is like, okay,
just got high in life.
It's not fun. Okay, fine. That's less emotional. Okay, you picked the less emotional.
Pretty fun.
Anyways, so that is really, really cool. And I want to say, AY, that I have seen this happen in your life because I've been on we had a winter trip together, Baruch Hashem, and the retreat also.
Was fun.
And on the winter trip, this guy is just happy with anything. He's so happy just to be under a roof that he has a place to sleep. I think one night, maybe we didn't have supper or something, and he's like, oh, cool. I'll go pick berries from the forest. And I'm joking. I'm exaggerating. But it was something, I just remember that theme, that AY is just happy with anything. He doesn't really need anything. He could fall asleep upside down, right side up. He could eat anything. If you don't make him food, he'll make his own food. These things are huge, what he gained from that. And you can all gain these wonderful things. Lost Camp. Available at lostcamp.org where you can register. Just saying. But
Link below.
Yeah, link below. That's one of the perks of going into wilderness and these trips is that it really teaches you how to be a minimalist, and it's crazy good for you to teach you how to be happy with the small stuff in life. Huge. Anyways, I just wanted to tie it into our day-to-day lives and show you how we can tie this whole thing into our lives. This whole trip, what I'm gathering was all about focus. This whole reality that they created in this place on a rock in Utah was to teach you how to focus. There was no distractions. There was no TV, no movies, no phones, no communications with the outside world. You had a unifocus. According to Avram Tversky, the problem of our generation is self-esteem. He said, I wrote this in 50 different books, but it's one message, and that is we don't have self-esteem. We don't know who we are. We don't know what we accomplished. Everything we do doesn't seem good enough. Why? Because we don't have a focus. That's what he says. If we would have the ability to focus, we would know who we are, and all of the problems of our generation with relationships, with depression, all those things would be solved if we truly knew who we are. The problem why we don't know who we are is because we are distracted more and more each day by all the modern technology. You go to chasana, typical chasana, you're supposed to be there for your friend, but the guy's wearing fancy shoes. His friend comes, yo, nice shoes. Where'd you get these from? And he's having a whole discussion for an hour instead of dancing with the chassan. And then after the guy asks him about his shoes, he says, oh my gosh, where'd you get that 11th piece of chocolate? I got 10 pieces of chocolate, but I didn't yet taste that flavor. They had that for dessert. Oh my gosh, where is that? You're distracted. Dude, why are you here? Hello? Why are you at the chasana? You're here to be there for your friend. That's your mission. But it ends up you didn't even see your friend for more than like a minute, and you didn't pump him up or be there for him and make him besimcha about his... No. Most of the chasana, you're there talking about you. Oh, then your phone rings. Oh, your business deal. You're so distracted. We have no focus. So we never fully finishing what we set out to do. And even if we do something, we get distracted before we could properly even realize what we did or think about what we did or celebrate what we did. We have no celebration of life, no celebration of ourselves. We end up being a nobody. We don't even know who we're just so distracted. If you can live in a reality where there are no distractions and you're focused, especially in nature where everything is just how the world was created.
Simple.
No more technology, no more whatever, and you're just focused in a group with one thing. Who am I? What is life about? Oh, life's about another. It's about becoming bigger, about attaching myself to other people. That my acts have impacts on other people and they have an impact on me. We're attached, we're all one. How are we gonna get this done? How are we gonna get closer to each other? How are we gonna connect? How am I gonna become a bigger person? How am I gonna accomplish what life's all about? When you have that focus, you learn who you are solidly. And then you carry it out. And you're happy about it. And you celebrate it. You celebrate your accomplishment and who you are. That's called self-esteem. And that's when you become powerful and unstoppable. Okay? When you got the self-esteem. But how do you get the self-esteem? From focus. Focus. And that's the biggest problem of our generation. That's why our generation is linked to low self-esteem, where people just don't believe in themselves. Of course you don't believe in yourself, because you can't focus. It doesn't linger in your system long enough for you to, wow, I'm a big person. I did good. I'm so happy. I can do more. It doesn't linger long enough because you're distracted by something else. Right? So we have to learn how to focus. Who we are, what life's about. Then we'll become bigger people. We'll change the world, become unstoppable, and bam!
We got it.
Life will be awesome. Okay. I have a question for you.
Yes.
You're living on a pad, no gummy bears, carrying your gespinkers in your backpack,
Gespinkers.
and away from society, no phones, no communications. The question is, if I told you I can get you a free ticket to the same program for 3 months, no showers, would you do it again? Yes or no? This is mind-boggling. What he's going to say is going to blow your mind. I knew the answer.
I would work a full year of my own money just to get another 3 months. I would do so much. I would give up.
It's crazy.
It was the best experience of my life.
Makes no sense.
Period.
I've asked somebody, another guy
Yes,
that did
I
the
would.
program, I asked him the same question. He's like, I would 100% do it again. And it's, at first I'm like, that makes no sense. How could anybody but the answer to that is that the reality that they were living in was so real, so beautiful. They lived in their own world, a real world. They would choose it again. Yeah, and we got to learn from that. We got to learn how to start making our world more like that world that was created on the rock in Utah.
And you can.
Yeah, and then maybe we'll be desiring that world just as much as you desire to go back. Yeah, so we should work on doing that. Okay, and our final and last question for you, AY, is: after you're done your entire life, what impact would you have liked to leave on this world? What is your mission statement? Like, when you're done, you say, I did this. This is what I need to get done. What impact would you have liked to make on the world after your life is done? What is your mission statement? Go ahead.
Wow.
Yeah, I went there. I do it all the time.
The impact I'd
bomb
like
questions
to
at
leave
people.
on this world, I'd like to teach kids how to have relationships, how to be healthy, how to enjoy their lives, how to not want to run away from it. I'd want to leave I'd want to impact this world and leave something that lasts. I want to make a world where people get along, have achdus, and
Wow.
it'd just be amazing.
So wow, that's insane. Yeah. And maybe you can help people that went through similar situations like you did.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways, now we got to close off by saying that this is the Kosher Vids podcast. It's available on Spotify, Google Music, and what else? Apple Music. Yeah, all that stuff. It's available as a podcast form. But you go to YouTube, watch our full Kosher Vids channel. It's very good. We got many good stuff, many good podcasts. This is the channel of the century. In fact, I think it's the only Jewish edutainment channel that there is. Edutainment is a mixture between education and entertainment. If you didn't subscribe to the channel, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't understand. It's
Go
the cool thing.
subscribe to the channel now. Turn it off. No, don't turn it. Okay, after this video, subscribe. Why? Why should you subscribe? Because do you care about us? Yes or no? If you do care about us, you would subscribe. Why? Because our channel's success depends on the amount of views. Yes, it's true. Now, I know it sounds very cheesy and everything. You're like, oh.
What do you say?
Listen to me. Subscribe is very important. People look at a video and they say, oh my gosh, it's got so many subscribers. It's obviously a good video. They click on the video. So if you want to do us a chesed, if you want to have an impact on us, a good impact, you can subscribe on that button below. And if you don't want to, you don't need to. It's okay. I got you, brother. That's fine. I know where you're coming from. It's just fine. We're okay with
Nice.
that. Okay. But if you have it in your heart to, please click the subscribe button. That would be great. Put in maybe even a like, and also send it to your friends. People that would really gain from such a conversation that we had with each other. I think it was amazing. I hope you enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed it. I want you to have the best week of your life. It should be full of simcha, bracha, hatzlacha, lots of happiness, good stuff, and have an impact on the world. Amen. We're out.